The MPS, they're always there to be able to ring if you have any worries.
What has never changed is putting our members first.
It works on two levels. It's an emotional help because you know other people are going through the same sorts of challenges, physical, emotional, that you are, your family is. I think also there's very practical help.
I don't think that we would have survived as a family without the MPS Society.
It's very close to my heart, the MPS Society, and always will be. It's been an incredibly important part of my family's life.
Thank you.
Christine had 4 children, and it was Simon that was affected, and she just had such a passion because when she looked around there was no help.
So they set about trying to establish where there may be other families, and had a little coffee morning in their kitchen at home on a Saturday morning and thought, well, shall we be brave enough and to start an organisation to find other families? So that's how it started. The first conference, 50 families attended, and we were in Birmingham for that. And I cannot tell you the overwhelming impact of that first meeting. I mean, families, we stayed up all night talking. Just at last there was somebody to say, oh, your child does that, does your child do that, and so on and so forth.
As I got older, it was nice to be able to talk to the the doctors and scientists and researchers that would go to the conferences and be able to ask questions.
Meanwhile, we're off on a fun day to a theme park.
The boys would often go off with volunteers, and they'd always come back at the end of the day with huge smiles.
It's the ability to be able to go into things that normal families do, giving their parents a break. It's really great fun. We sort of got a slot on Children in Need. They did a clip and that helped with our funds.
A doctor came down from Manchester and he begged the MPS Society, could we share the funding with Salford Council for an eminent paediatrician, and that was Dr. Ed Wraith, an amazing, amazing man.
He was one of the leading clinicians for many years in MPS and related diseases.
Cloning the gene was the great thing in the 80s and 90s, and virtually all the lysosomal disease genes are cloned and available now. We see enzyme replacement therapies, we see gene therapies and gene editing, and this is going to have such a wide societal impact.
Our 2 sons were enrolled on the initial clinical trial for an enzyme replacement therapy for MPS II, and since then they have been on that treatment, which has changed their prospects completely. I'm under no doubt that that treatment wouldn't have been available if the MPS Society hadn't done all it's done.
The MPS Society had a catalytic effect and brought the clinicians and the scientists into a community with the patients, and that is a tremendous achievement.
Rare Disease Research Partners really started because a number of the members were involved in a clinical trial, and they came to, in the nicest possible way, complain to Christine that they were having a terrible experience. So Christine was a wonderful person who didn't take those kind of things quietly, and she went straight to the sponsor of the trial and she said, this is what's happening. If you let this continue, it's a travesty, because you will never show what a fantastic medicine this is, and it will never get into the community. So you need to sort it out. And they sat kind of stunned. So she followed up quickly with, well, we can sort it for you. And that was the kind of germ of Rare Disease Research Partners. Anything and everything that patients need to be where they need to be, when they need to be, and make it as easy as possible for them.
We have something called a memorial wood, for the children who've died.
So we get together and we have a little event there. You know, I read a poem, somebody reads out the names of the children, and you know, it's a place to reflect.
Everybody's remembering the same people for the same reasons.
One in 17 will live or be affected by a rare disease. So that's quite a lot of people if you think about our population. And so what we're trying to do is to say to everybody out there, here we are, we're a rare community. We should have fair access to treatments, especially when they're transformative and they give relief to patients from lifelong suffering, pain and hardship. Surely that's something that society should respect and want.
So the 40th year, it's important for loads of reasons.
It gives us a moment to take stock of just how much has been achieved in that time by people coming together as a community. And there have been some remarkable people in this story.
What started at Christine's kitchen table, then proceeded to her spare bedroom, and then to a little office, to a shed in her garden, and then to an office that we eventually rented out.
Because Christine had lived it and been through it, she knew what people needed, and so we've always very much focused on that, on our members first.
It's just huge now. And for that parent who's suddenly got a child that's born that doesn't make sense in the normal world, now you can help that child.
Foremost, it's about being that family for our families.